Okay, let's see kung ilan na yung nandito. Okay. Sige. As of 5 minutes ago, may nadagdag na dalawa. Okay, I think meron pa yung gustong sumama. I'll just give them a few more minutes, no? And then we can start. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So I think there are already more than 10 participants, and some of us do have more members looking at the same screen. So, like me, I have other, I am here. So I think in the interest of time, and the others will just follow up later on. Let's just start. Okay, we would like to acknowledge the presence, of course, of our PCP members here. Okay, and of course, our friends from BIR are represented by their group supervisor, Miss May Frances Aberin, okay? And examiners, Miss Anjali Bitarasi and uh, Eloisa May G. Flores. Thank you actually for giving us this opportunity to engage with you. And of course, for us, we would like to be clarified on some matters pertaining to taxes, of course, because at the end of the day, we would all like to be responsible citizens of the Republic. Okay? And I would like to believe that the members of PCP Northern Luzon are actually, I mean, are what you call good taxpayers, okay, or good citizens of the Philippines. Okay, sige, whatever, regardless of whatever is happening right now. So for today, our friends from BIR will be discussing about the registration process, especially for those new doctors. I would like, I mean, when I was starting, I really don't know that we have to undergo BIR registration because from residency, right? You are a paid employee, so suddenly you're going to pay your taxes by yourself. Okay, and not everyone probably we can afford for an accountant or a bookkeeper at the start of their practice. Okay? And I believe that it's easier now kasi pwede tayong mag-file by digital filing because there are EBIR forms actually that you can file. And of course, I know you have burning questions because of the new policy, or I'm not sure how they call it, policy or memorandum of BIR now about ease of doing business, something like that. I actually reading about it, but it's so long. I'd rather just listen to our friends from BIR so that they could expound or explain more, make it clearer for us. Okay, so we can start with the BIR with if you have prepared a brief discussion for us. I mean, if you have more that you feel that relevant topic, please go ahead and discuss.
Hello po, good afternoon. So, first of all, may we thank you po for having us for this meeting. Okay, this meeting aims to provide an overview of the basic registration requirements for new business registrants, EPIR forms filing, and it aims to answer few related questions. Okay po? The first part of our meeting outlines the essential steps and documents needed to legally establish a business, whether as a sole proprietor or as a professional. Proper registration ensures compliance with government regulations and allows business or profession to operate lawfully. Ito. So first step po talaga natin sa pag-comply sa BIR po is to register. Taxpayers are advised to register online po through EBI or through business business registration. May I just share my screen para makita niyo po kung paano mag-register online. For a while lang po. Okay po. Ang first step po talaga natin is registration. So how to register po? Una po, kailangan natin pumunta sa website ng ating BIR. No. Okay. For a while lang po. Ano yan? Well, okay. So ito po yung website ng ating BIR, bir.gov.ph. I-scroll down lang po natin to. Scroll down hanggang sa makita natin yung icon na ang nakalagay, New Business Registration. Yan po ang ating i-click. So, the New Business Registration or New BizReg portal is an alternative option in submitting application for registration of business, head office or branch man yan, to the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Taxpayer or applicants shall wait. Taxpayers or applicants shall prepare all scanned copy of the required documents to be attached and to be submitted via email through this portal to the concerned BIR Revenue District Officer. So, how to register the business through new business registration portal? Ang first step po natin is to prepare all the required documentary requirements in a scanned PDF copy, not exceeding 4 MB total file size of all attachment per email. Diba? Kung tayo ay magpaparegister for sole proprietors, i-click lang po natin yung letter A option, sole proprietors, professionals, and mixed income earners. Okay. Magpe-present na po dyan agad ang ating mga requirements na kailangan. First requirement is BIR Form 1901, 2 originals. Pwede po nating i-copy yan. Kapag kinopy po natin ang ating 1901, yan po yung i-attach natin sa email natin later on. Ang next na documentary requirement natin is any government-issued ID, Philippine ID, e-Phil ID, passport, driver's license, that shows the name, address, and birth date of the applicant. In case the ID has no address, any proof of residence is required. Okay. Valid PRC ID or government ID showing, pwede din po i-attach dito. In case po na practice of profession, katulad sa inyo po ng mga karamihan ay doctors, nurses, ang kailangan po nating i-attach is yung PRC ID natin. Note, ID shall be presented and should be readable, untampered, and contains consistent information with the document submitted upon application. Next po is kailangan natin bumili or buy BIR printed invoice available for sale at the new business registration counter po. Fees to be paid, payment ng 30 pesos loose stock stamps to be affixed sa certificate of registration and procured printing cost of BPI or ang ating BIR printed invoice. Additional requirements na kailangan natin.
Ma'am Eliza?
Yes po.
Sorry po, naka-freeze po yung screen niya sa email.
Okay. Thank you po sa pagpapaalala. Wait lang po, ayusin lang po namin sandali. Start lang po natin ulit. Ang first step po talaga ng registration natin is pumunta sa bir.gov.ph dahil online na po lahat ng registration natin. Once na nandun na po kayo sa ating website, mag-scroll down lang po kayo. Hanapin niyo po yung new BizReg portal natin. Okay. Ayan po. So, ang first step natin po sa new BizReg portal is to acquire or prepare all documents in PDF copy not exceeding 4 MB. For sole proprietors or professionals, kailangan natin mag-fill up ng BIR Form 1901. Kailangan natin mag-attach ng government-issued ID. Kailangan for professionals po, kailangan ng valid PRC ID ang i-attach natin. Kailangan din po ng BIR printed invoice. Available po yan sa ating counter once na nakapag-register na po kayo. Fees to be paid naman po is 30 pesos DST and procure BPI, which is upon registration na lang dito sa counter. Additional documents na kailangan kung hindi po kayo magtatransact personally, kailangan po ng special power of attorney and government-issued ID ng taxpayer and yung authorized representative, one photocopy, both with one specimen signature po. Kung kayo po ay may trade name, mag-attach na din po kayo ng DTI certificate. If applicable naman po sa inyo din, work visa, service contract, franchise documents, certificate of authority, and proof of registration kapag applicable lang po sa inyo. Okay po? Second step po natin is determine filing and payment obligations. Download and answer the tax type questionnaire in order for us to determine your applicable tax types. Ito po yung example ng ating tax type questionnaires. So, kailangan pong nakalagay dyan yung taxpayer registered ninyo, tapos yung date kung kailan po kayo nag-register. Questions are answerable with a yes or no. So, basahin mo na lang po. And kung applicable po sa inyo, answer na lang po kayo. Yung questionnaire po na kanina, questionnaire natin, kailangan po natin yung i-download and i-scan. Tapos, i-attach po natin yan sa ating email application. Step 3 is to pay 30 pesos loose document stamp. Taxpayer applicant with existing taxpayer identification number may pay 30 pesos loose DST online through the following channels. Kung wala pa naman po kayo existing thing, you shall wait for an email instruction on when to pay or may pay the 30 pesos DST. Step 4, attach all required documents in the email and submit to the email address of the concerned RDO. Where to submit? Automatic na po itong field natin. Once you choose province na Benguet, City of Baguio, and yung barangay ninyo, lalabas na po dyan yung email address sa pagsasendan ninyo ng information or PDF requirements ninyo. Don't forget na lang din po to answer kung ano po yung business type na i-register ninyo kung kayo ay self-employed or kung sakali lang po may corporation po kayo na i-register. Full name nyo din po ang kailangan dito kung sakaling kayo po ay individual. If by clicking the email, your application does not open the email program of your personal computer, send the application to the above email address. So once na-click nyo na po ito, automatic po yan na pupunta sa inyong Gmail para ma-send po yung mga requirements na yun sa amin. Step 5 po, makaka-receive po kayo ng email for your scheduled pickup ng Certificate of Registration and buying of BIR printed receipts or invoices and authority to print if applicable. So ito pong new business registration natin na steps. Naka-present naman po sa ating email or sa ating website kung paano po. And for those po na individuals na seniors or persons with disabilities, pwede naman po kayong mag-online ay mag-walk-in. Okay po? Pwede naman po kayo mag-walk-in just in case. Pero for those who are able po, we strongly advise na mag-online registration po kayo. For a while lang po, ayusin natin yung ating yan. So, additional registration requirements lang po natin. For a while lang po. Stop sharing.
Okay, so anyways, okay, I think there are already 24 participants in the group. So for the attendees, you can actually write your questions as the presentations are ongoing in the chat box para I'll take note of.
Welcome po sa mga bagong attendees natin. Like Ma'am said, pwede na po kayo mag-send ng ating questions dito sa chat box just in case na mayroon na po kayo. Okay. More on registration requirements po natin. Okay. So, registration procedures were discussed kanina. So, kailangan natin mag-fill up ng registration form. That's BIR Form 1901. Apply for authority to print. Secure OR, makaka-receive po kayo ng email after registering sa ating new business registration, makaka-receive kayo ng email kung kailan ninyo pwedeng pick upin yung inyong issued certificate of registration. Okay? Once na-secure na po yung ating COR, makakakuha na rin po kayo ng as per receipt notice or mass issue receipt. Kailangan na rin po natin mag-register ng ating mga manual books of accounts. And if applicable lang naman po sa inyo, kailangan nyo po mag-apply ng computerized accounting system or permit to lose leave. More on registration requirements ng ating self-employed individuals. This is also shown doon sa ating new business registration portal. Just in case na gusto niyo pong makakuha ng screenshot or kailangan niyo po ng reminder, yan po yung mga requirements natin. Requirements for self-employed individuals, continuation lang po. And then, kung kayo po ay may mga requirements or mga corporations, associations na kailangang i-register, naka-flash po sa screen yung mga requirements na kailangan. Continuation po. And then, we have here Revenue Memorandum Circular number 14-2024, issued on January 24, 2024, advises all taxpayers that effective January 22, 2024, the BIR will cease to collect annual registration fee from business taxpayers in pursuant to Republic Act number 1197-6 or Ease of Paying Taxes. Kung maaalala nyo po sa mga taxpayers or sa ating mga participants po na may previous business, mayroon po tayong binabayaran na 500 pesos every January po. Pero since nung lumabas ang ating revenue memorandum 14-2024, hindi na po tayo nag-collect ng ating 500 pesos na registration fee. Kapag mayroon na po tayo or kapag kompleto na po and tama po ang ating pagpaparegister, ito po yung sample ng ating certificate of registration. Nakalagay po dyan yung TIN and branch code natin, name of taxpayer, TIN issuance date, registered address, yung mga tax type na nakaregister sa atin, trade name kung mayroon man po, and line of business. Revenue Memorandum Order 43-2022, the Ask for Receipt Notice previously issued to registered business taxpayers shall still be valid until June 30, 2023. It will be replaced by the new BIR notice to issue receipt or invoice. So yan po, shown in your screen po, yung old notice po natin, yan po yung color red. As for receipt notice and BIR nakalagay in red. Pero ang new notice na po natin is yung color green na ang nakalagay must issue receipt or notice. Receipt or invoice. All business registered taxpayers requesting for the replacement of old as per receipt notice are required to update their registration information using S1905 registration update sheet before the release of the NERI. RMC number 75-2023, extending the deadline for securing new NERI on or before September 30, 2023. Failure to do so will result to an imposition of penalty of not more than 1,000 pursuant to Section 275 of the Tax Code as amended. Again po, reiteration lang po of what is shown. Yung old notice po na red, hindi na po yan ang dapat dinidisplay natin. Yung new notice na color green, yan na po dapat ang nakadisplay sa ating business or offices. Okay po. Failure to update po from red to green will result to a imposition of penalty of 1,000 pesos. So ito pong dalawang documents natin, Certificate of Registration and Notice to Issue Receipt or Invoice. Yan po ay dapat naka-display sa visible area ng business natin or clinics or offices po. That's it po for our registration requirements. For the participants po, once naka-register na po tayo dito sa BIR, you are required to attend a mandatory new business registrant seminar every Friday po. Okay po. Kapag kayo po ay bagong register. For those naman po na gusto lang mag-attend para ma-refresh yung tax knowledge nila sa kanilang business or yung registration man po, pwede rin po kayo mag-attend. That is every Friday, 2 p.m. dito po sa ating office sa Leonard Wood Road. Thank you. For a while lang po. Good afternoon po. Since na-discuss na po yung registration, ang next naman na po na topic natin is yung filing ng EBIR forms as requested. Since mandatory na po kasi ang pag-file natin ng EBIR forms, hindi na po pwede yung manual na sinusulat lang natin. I-explain na lang namin yung step-by-step procedure on how to uh, fill up the EBIR forms. Pero sisimulan na lang natin kung paano din po natin siya ida-download muna. Ang EBIR forms, pwede po siya sa laptops natin or sa computers. Hindi po siya pwede sa phone. Hindi din po siya available sa mga Mac. So, Windows lang po siya compatible. Okay, wait. Wait lang po, share lang namin yung screen. Ah, wait. Move pa yata. Okay po. Ah, bale, ang pag magda-download po tayo, nakikita po ba yung screen?
Yes po. Go ahead po.
Okay po. So, ito po, pupunta din tayo sa website ng BIR, bir.gov.ph. Tapos, scroll lang po tayo sa may baba na portion. Sa baba po, hanggang makita po natin itong e-services. E-services po natin. E-services we provide. Tapos, scroll lang natin sa side. Makikita po natin si EBIR forms. So, i-click lang po natin si EBIR forms. Nandito po siya. I-click ulit natin siya para ma-download po natin yung ito po, si EBIR. Pag na-download na po natin, open na lang po natin. I-open na lang po natin siya kung saan siya na-download, tapos install na lang po natin. I-set up po natin siya. So, double-click, tapos tapusin po natin yung um, installation na proper po niya. So, after po natin siyang ma-install, ang magiging, wait lang po. Pag, wait lang po, i-open lang natin yung BIR. So, pag na-install na po natin yung EBIR forms, ang lalabas po is ito, yung um, mismong screen ng EBIR form. So, nandito na yung mga kailangan natin pong i-fill out, yung tax identification number natin, RDO code natin. So, depende po kasi kung saan tayo nakaregister. So, kung sakaling dito tayo sa Baguio, ang RDO code natin is 8. Pag sa La Trinidad naman is 9 po. So, itong mga fields na ito, lahat-lahat nito is kailangan pong ma-fill upan. Just in case, mag-sample na lang po tayo ng isa. Mag-sample po tayo ng isa. So, for example, itong tax identification number, kailangan valid yung i-input po natin na tax identification number. So, input nyo lang po dito yung number ninyo together with the branch code. So, pag magsaselect po tayo ng RDO code, since Baguio po tayo, piliin po natin yung 008. Pag line of business, usually pwede natin ilalagay natin yung line of business. Pag physician po, ilagay na lang natin. Physician. Tapos, ilagay na lang po natin yung name po natin dito. For example, yung name po na lang po. Ansley. Opo. Dito po. Opo. Dito po sa may i-input natin yung TIN, pag hindi po valid yung TIN natin, magpa-prompt po agad siya na invalid TIN. So pag may nag-prompt ng invalid TIN, most probably mali yung nalalagay natin na TIN. So i-verify po natin yung TIN. Tapos dito po sa my name na portion, of course, last name, first name, and then middle name po. And then, registered address, ilagay na lang po natin. Kung yung registered na business address po natin ang ilalagay po dito, hindi po yung home address natin. So, kung anong ni-register nyo na place of business nyo dito kay BIR, yun po ang ilalagay ninyo. So, for example, Baguio City, Session Road, Baguio City. Tapos, input na po natin yung zip code natin, 2600. Yung telephone number natin, ilagay din po natin. Tapos ang pinaka-important po dito is yung email address natin. Kasi sa email address po isa-send yung confirmation ng filing natin. So, kailangan valid yung ilalagay natin na email kasi kung hindi po valid, hindi po masasend yung confirmation sa atin. Yung confirmation, yun ang pinaka-proof natin na na-file na po natin ito. So, maglagay po ng email address at bir.gov.ph. Example. Tapos, after that, after nalagay na po natin yung email address po natin, piliin po natin kung ano yung i-file natin na tax return. So, for example, yung pinaka-common na lang, yung annual income tax return. So, dito po sa drop-down, dito sa may list of BIR forms, piliin po natin kung anong file, kung anong return yung file natin. So, piliin natin yung 1701. Siyempre, ang pipiliin lagi natin is yung latest na version ng form. So, 1701, tapos yung version 2018. After that po, click lang natin yung fill up. After po natin i-click yung fill up, magpa-prompt po ulit na magtatanong siya ng PIN tsaka email address. Ito is to ensure na tama po yung nalagay natin. Parang security feature din para ma-ensure na tama yung na-input natin na information. So, ulitin lang natin na i-input po lahat. 037. Tapos yung email address, ulitin lang natin na i-input. Pag may discrepancy dun sa na-fill upan natin sa harap, tapos yung na-fill upan dito po sa confirmation, magpa-prompt naman po siya agad. Ayun po. So, pag nag-match, magpa-prompt din na successful yung data na na-input natin. Tapos, i-click na lang ulit natin yung fill up para ma-open po natin yung form. So, ito po. Ito na po yung form na fill upan natin. Bali dito po sa forms, kailangan natin i-click yung mga applicable po sa atin. So for example, since annual po ito for December 2024, example lang po. Tapos i-click natin if amended return or if not, or shortened period. Tapos naka-input naman na po yung tax identification number natin. I-click na lang po natin kung anong taxpayer type. So since, for example, doctors po, i-click natin yung professional. Tapos, dito is pipiliin natin kung naka-graduated income tax rates tayo or naka 8%, or ito po, most probably yung income from profession. Depende po kung ano kasing pipiliin nyo, is either yung graduated na rates or 8% na interest, ay na rate. So, for example, click na lang natin income from profession tas graduated income tax rates. Tapos ito po, kailangan din natin ilagay yung date of birth natin. So, for example, at October 14, 1991. Yan po. Tapos citizenship, syempre fill up lang natin po lahat. Filipino, tapos i-click natin kung married or single. Kasi pag i-click natin yung married, meron din pong additional na i-click din tayo. So married, if you have spouse, i-click po ninyo kung may income din yung spouse ninyo or hindi. Tapos i-click, pili din po kayo kung separate or joint filing. So click na lang natin yung separate filing. Tapos, dito po sa lower na portion, makikita natin may previous saka next po tayo para ma-check natin yung ibang pages po niya. So, for example, ito, nasa second page na po tayo. Dito po natin i-input yung sales saka expenses natin. Kaya important po pag magpa-file tayo, dapat alam po natin kung magkano yung sales saka yung mga expenses natin. Kasi minsan kasi pag may dumadating dito sa office, magpapakompute, pagtatanungin namin kung ano yung sales or expenses nila, hindi po nila sure. So, dapat kung mag-fill up tayo ng forms, dapat kumpleto din yung information po natin regarding sa sales and expenses natin. So, for example lang po, ang sales natin for the entire year is, sabihin na natin, 200,000. Tapos, automatic na yun magko-compute. Ibabawas naman po natin yung allowable na deductions po natin. So, for example, i-click lang natin ito, ordinary and allowable deductions. Magpro-proceed na siya. So, pwede nyo nang i-input yung mga expenses nyo dito. So, for example, ito po, pag nagre-rent kayo, for example, yung clinic is nagre-rent kayo ng 120,000 a year, ilagay nyo lang po. Yung salaries po ng mga assistants po natin, ilagay din po natin. 100, sumobra. Sabihin na natin 50,000. Tsaka kung anong mga related na expenses, ipasok nyo din po. So, kung may expenses kayo na wala dito sa listahan, meron naman pong portion dito na pwede kayo i-input nyo dito na other expenses. Tapos mag-attach na lang kayo ng financial statements para at least nandun na yung breakdown. So, after nyo na pong na-fill upan yun, check nyo na lang yung ibang mga pages kung may kailangan i-fill up. Ito po, para ma-verify kung kumpleto na yung na-fill upan ninyo, pwede nyo naman pong i-click yung validate kasi magpa-prompt po dito kung meron pa po tayong hindi na-fill upan. So, click natin yung validate. Wait lang po. So, sabi niya dito, please select an option for page 1, item 19. So, ililib naman po niya kayo kung ano pa po yung hindi nyo na-fill upan. So, exempt daw sa tax, no. Special rates, no. Tapos, validate ulit natin. Okay po. Please select an page 1, item 21A. Ayun po, itemized deduction or optional standard deduction. Ito naman po, yung mga modes of deduction sa yung taxes natin, ito na po yung sinasabi ni Ma'am Eloisa kanina. Na upon registration, meron po tayong seminar na kinakandak para ma-discuss po lahat yung mga responsive taxes natin, yung mga responsibilities, saka yung mga reportorial requirements po natin. So, i-check ulit natin. Click po ulit natin yung validate. Okay po, page 4, item number 11. So, item number 23. Page 4. Part 4, number 11. Okay. So, ililid naman po kayo nung validate kung ano pa po yung hindi nagmamatch or yung hindi pa po na-submit, ay hindi pa po na-fill upan. So, pag i-click nyo po yung validation, pag okay na po yung na-fill upan natin, ito na po yung magpa-prompt, validation successful, click on edit if you wish to modify your entries. So, pag okay na, pag na-file nyo na po na ganito, click nyo lang na okay. After that po is i-click nyo na yung save para ma-save po itong na-file ninyo dito sa device po nila. After that po, you can print naman po pag gusto niyo ng hard copy or kung hindi naman po, automatic naman na nagsisave itong na-file ninyo dun sa device ninyo. Yun lang po. Yung na-save ninyo is available lang doon sa device kung saan kayo nag-file. Hindi po siya automatic na pag inopen nyo sa ibang computer, meron yun yung na-file ninyo. So, importante is at least nakasave po siya sa device ninyo. After that, pag na-print nyo na or na-save nyo na din po, click the submit final copy. Magpo-prompt ko na please ensure na yung internet connection natin is valid, tsaka pwede po tayong mag-submit. After that, are you sure you want to submit? Click nyo lang po yung okay. Tapos if after ito mo ulit, i-click nyo na lang po ulit yung EBIR forms. Click nyo ulit yung okay. Okay po. Ah, ito na po yung magpapakita. Pag na-submit nyo na po na successful, ito yung magpa-prompt, submit successful. Pag hindi naman po siya nag-submit, kung may issue po sa internet connection natin, i-repeat nyo lang na i-submit. Pero pag meron na itong nag-prompt na submission successful, may notification po kaagad na magpapakita naman na okay na po yung submission natin. So, after na-submit na natin, usually within the hour naman, may nai-email na sa email natin na confirmation receipt po. Minsan lang kasi may times na nalilate yung confirmation. Usually nangyayari po yun pag uh, filing, pag mismong due date na. Minsan pag sabay-sabay na po kasi yung filing, syempre natatagalan na din po yung system. Or else, may times din na wala din talagang nare-receive na confirmation. I-validate nyo po baka mali yung email na nakalagay. Kaya importante po na tama yung email na nakalagay po sa dito po sa EBIR forms natin. So, next is ipakita ko lang po kung ano yung itsura ng confirmation receipt na isa-send po sa atin. So, pag ano na po, pag na-successful na po yung submission natin, may masasend sa email po natin. Ito po ang laman nung confirmation receipt. I-confirm niya na na-file ninyo, anong date na receive, time na na-send, tapos anong tax type. Naka-indicate din ko anong tin natin dito. So, just in case na may kailangan tayong bayaran, babayaran po natin siya sa bank, sa mga accredited banks, or pwede din may mga online modes of payment tayo. Although dito po sa Paymaya, dito po, wala na pong GCash. Ang meron lang po is si Paymaya at MyEG. Si GCash kasi nagka-issue regarding posting. Kaya as of now, ang available po is si Paymaya and MyEG. Although dito po sa MyEG, pwede nyo kasing i-link na yung GCash account ninyo dito para ma-credit po yung payment dun sa GCash account ninyo. Kasi minsan, yun nga po, pag due date na pila po talaga sa bank, so i-advise din namin na gamitin natin yung mga online facilities natin for your convenience na din po. Okay po, so uh, that is it for EBIR forms. Nakita naman po natin yung discussion. Ito po.
Okay, so I think na-discuss na natin yung mga topics. Certainly, the first topic, yung registration as a taxpayer is a must for probably our new doctors who have just come out of training and are establishing their own private practice. Okay, and yung e-filing kasi I believe mabilis to. You don't have to go to the office of the BIR, diba? Okay, so less hassle ito. Okay, so you can actually do it yourself for those of you who are actually doing it already. So may update na rin tayo. So if you have other questions, sure, feel free to ask or kung meron pang i-discuss si BIR. Pero let me go ahead and read the first question. So, may i-discuss pa ba sa mga BIR?
Wala na po, ma'am, kung may
Okay, yes.
pwede na po
May,
tayong
yes.
mag-proceed dun sa questions natin, ma'am.
Yes, for yung question natin dito, for renewal of registration, so I'm not sure kung ano yung times na, yung circumstances na mag-renew nyo ka ng registration. Can you enlighten us regarding the ORUS o ORUS? So we used to register the book of accounts before end of December, and a blue book for non-VAT is given. Now we were just instructed to create an account at ORUS.
Um, before train law kasi and EOPT, meron tayong tinatawag na simplified bookkeeping. Usually, yung mga self-employed individuals po na hindi VAT registered, yung kung familiar tayo dun sa tinatawag nilang Blue Book, yun po yung normal na nire-register nila before. Yung Blue Book kasi, kaya kung matatandaan nyo, every December siya before mag-start yung next year. Kasi yung Blue Book na pinaregister natin before is designed lang siya for 1 year. For 12 months lang siya gagamitin. So, ang rationale nun, since design lang siya for 1 year, every parang annual siya. Before mag-start yung preceding year, pinaparegister natin. Although nung lumabas po kasi yung train law, ang sinabi niya po kasi doon sa books of accounts natin is depende po sa atin kung ano yung ano ba yung proper term? Necessary for us. So, wala siyang in-specify actually kung anong type of books yung i-register natin. Nakadepende po siya sa atin kung ano yung um, appropriate na books na i-register natin for record keeping natin. Although sa amin, para hindi po kayo mahirapan, ang sinasuggest po namin is hiwalay po yung books natin para sa cash receipts, hiwalay po yung cash disbursements, para po hindi po magulo yung recording natin. And then may tinatawag po tayong general journal. Kasi minsan baka may mga entry po tayo sa recording na hindi naman siya cash transaction. Like, kunwari po, nag-record po ako ng accounts receivable from my client, and then hindi po cash yung binayad niya sa akin. Kunwari yung client ko po, may inavail din ako sa kanyang service, so instead na cash yung binayad, pangbayad ko sa kanya, yung value na lang po nung utang niya din sa akin. So kung titingnan natin, hindi siya papasok kasi sa cash. So pwede natin siyang ipasok sa general journal. And may tinatawag din po tayong general ledger. Yun po yung parang summary po kasi ng accounts. Usually, monthly po natin yun nilalagay kung magkano po yung monthly debits para sa account na to and monthly credits para sa account na to. Ang gamit naman po ng general ledger is para madali po makita na natin yung summary ng monthly natin kasi na-explain po ni Miss Angie kanina, pag magfa-file po tayo ng taxes, ideally, alam po sana natin yung totals ng service income natin as professionals and yung corresponding related business expenses natin. So, ang gamit po ng books is for facilitation po ng record keeping natin. Ngayon po, in relation dun sa question nito, meron na po kasi tayong yung tinatawag na online registration and updating system. Yun po yung ORUS natin. Dati kasi, kung before pa kayo nakaregister kay BIR, tuwing December, napapansin po natin, napipilahan po kasi si BIR. Ang majority po nun is magpapatatak nung libro natin na tinatawag. Ngayon po, may online na kasi siya, magre-register po tayo doon. Pag i-register na po natin yung books natin, ay after natin gumawa ng account, magre-register tayo ng books, hindi na po kailangan yung manual stamp ni BIR kasi si Orus po natin, pag na-register na natin siya, mag-i-issue na po siya ng QR code. So, ipiprint na lang po natin yon, ididikit natin sa books natin para pag meron pong, kung may nakatry na sa inyo, may nag-visit lang po sa atin, mag-check ng verification o compliance verification or yung tinatawag nating box mapping. I-scan lang po nila yung QR code na yon, makikita na po nila man kung duly registered yung books. Kasi pag may nagta-tax mapping, isa rin po sa chine-check natin yung bookkeeping natin. So, number one na chine-check dyan, kung meron bang kinikip na books within the place of business. And then, kung yung kinikip nating books is duly registered. And then kung yung books na nasa office natin or business address natin or clinic natin is updated. Kasi ang nasa regulation natin dapat sana updated daily po yung books natin. So yun po yung chinecheck sa books. Yung oras, ma'am, if gusto nyo, ma'am, pwede po kami mag-send sa email nyo nung parang leaflet lang, ma'am, ng basic guide kung paano mag-register and kung paano po natin gagawin yung registration ng books, etc., ma'am. Kasi kung i-ano din natin dito, ma'am, baka lumagpas po tayo sa time. If okay lang po sa kanila, ma'am.
Okay, sige. I
So,
think
in
isang
relation dun,
discussion din to. So,
kung in relation dun sa question sa chat, dun sa sinend sa amin na question, sa question number 4, and number 2. So, yung minimum logbooks daw, salaried doctor daw siya and then at the same time may private clinic. Kung ano daw po yung minimum logbooks required. Actually, wala pong minimum. Kasi nga po, sabi namin kanina, depende po sa kanila kung ano yung madedetermine nilang appropriate. Pero ang suggestion po namin is yung 4 na nabanggit ko po kanina. Pero hindi siya yung minimum talaga, ma'am. Depende po sa inyo kung ano yung nakikita nyong appropriate na books for record keeping. Pero yung 4, yun lang po yung suggested namin, ma'am. And then, kung salaried ka po kasi, yung from employment natin is hindi na po natin siya nire-record dun sa books. Kasi yung sa self-employment or yung um, pagre-render natin ng profession or business, yun lang po yung kailangan may record keeping tayo. Kasi sa salary po, ma'am, nagwi-withhold na po si employer ng corresponding income tax doon sa salary nating nare-receive from them. So, yung bibigay sa inyo na 2316 later on, yun lang po yung kakailanganin nyo kasi pag nag-file po tayo ng income tax, since ang income tax po kasi natin is tax on all income po. Pag resident citizen kasi is yung income tax natin is from all income received by the resident citizen from all sources. So kahit received from abroad siya or within the Philippines, yun po yung basis natin. So in a year po, ino-consolidate po natin yung income natin. So kung salaried doctor ka po and then at the same time may private clinic ka, ang classification mo na po sa BIR is yung tinatawag nating mixed income earner. So pag nag-file tayo, i-consolidate na po natin yung income natin from employment, which is makikita natin yun dun sa ibibigay sa atin ni employer sa BIR Form 2316. So, very important yun kasi yung whatever taxes withheld po from our employment, pag kinonsolidate po natin yung income tax natin, di ba may lalabas pong tax due, maibabawas po yung lahat nung na-withhold ni employer natin. And then, kung may mga iba pa po tayong client na nagwi-withhold ng taxes from our self-employment or professional dealings po natin as doctor, ibabawas din po natin yung mga yon. Siyempre, i-attach natin yung proof nung taxes withheld ng income payer natin. So, yun po. So, sa number 4, confirm po kung no need to have ledger stamp at the end of each year. Gaya nga po ng nabanggit natin, yung every year na pinapastamp natin, that time po kasi yun po yung blue book kasi design lang siya for 1 year. Ngayon po kung naka-journal na po tayo, pag napansin nyo po usually color brown siya pag bibili tayo sa bookstore, medyo mas makapal po kasi yun siya. So hindi siya design for 1 year. Pwedeng mag-exceed po kasi ng 1 year yung pwede nating ma-record doon. Lalo na po kung yung transactions natin is hindi naman po siya numerous na makakakonsume ng madaming pages. So pag ganun po yung registered books natin, ang kailangan lang po is before kayo gumamit ng bago, so ang ano kunwari 2 pages na lang or 3 pages na lang na iiwan, dun po natin isasuggest na i-register na natin yung next na gagamitin natin. Ang iniiwasan po kasi natin doon is pag nagkataon po na umikot po si BIR, at may nag-check po ng books, syempre makikita nila doon, bakit wala ka ng new books? So, pwede kasing, ang pwede nating maging violation doon, puno na yung books, so wala ka nang ginagamit, so hindi ka nag-update. Or pwede rin napuno mo siya, gumamit ka na ng bago, pero hindi mo na i-register. Ang nasa current bookkeeping requirements, bookkeeping regulations po kasi natin, before usage nung books na gagamitin natin, kailangan naka-register po siya kay BIR. So yun lang po yung very important. Anyway, ngayon po, hindi naman
I'm
na
going
kayo,
to take results first.
yes po. Anyway, ngayon po, yun nga po, meron na tayong ORUS, so doon na lang po natin siya i-register. So, yung QR code na lang pong i-generate natin, ipiprint, and then ididikit po doon sa books. So, yun yung questions 2 and 4. And then yung question number 1, basahin ko na lang po, ma'am.
Before that, ma'am, before that,
Yes, ma'am.
doon sa kasi nowadays, meron yung mga app na tinatawag na QuickBooks. Like kung if you know about QuickBooks, so, di ba
Yes,
may
ma'am.
mga app na accounting books na digital.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we need to register that or
Yun po yung nabanggit
or
kanina.
that's for our use ba? Kasi is it different from Orus?
Yung
I'm not
ORUS
sure
kasi,
about
ma'am,
that.
is
Mm-hmm.
parang system lang siya to register yung
Mm-hmm.
manual books. Magre-register tayo doon para ma-register yung manual books
Yes.
natin. Ngayon, ma'am, kung si QuickBooks po kasi, ma'am, a-applyan natin yun ng permit kasi usually computerized accounting
Oo.
system na siya or bookkeeping siya. So yun, ma'am, isasubmit po yun sa amin, sa BIR, kung saan po naka-register si doktor. I-evaluate lang po nila yun, ma'am. Usually pag QuickBooks kasi, ma'am, yan, pre-evaluated na siya before ilabas sa market. So most likely, ma'am, upon submission nyo yan, i-check lang po nila yung kung paano yung pag pinasok ko, kunwari yung expense ko dito, saan siya papasok and all, nakakonect siya, ma'am. I-check lang nila yung correctness ng recording natin. And then mag-i-issue po kami ng permit doon, ma'am. Yun naman, ma'am, every year yung isasubmit sa amin, ma'am, na hardbound. Hardbound na copy nung ipiprint nating records dun sa QuickBooks, ma'am. Tapos yung iba, ma'am, um, syempre I understand yung QuickBooks kasi hindi ko sure ngayon kung subscription siya or one-time payment. Yung iba, ma'am, ang ginagawa nila, lalo na yung may idea naman sa accounting side, ang ginagawa po nila, ma'am, is pinapasok sa Excel instead na
Mm-hmm.
nagsusulat mano-mano. Pag ganun, ma'am, pwede rin. Ang tawag naman namin doon is loose leaf accounting. So, ang ginagawa ng iba, ma'am, yun din, may permit din po yun, ma'am, ma-applyan lang yung issue namin and then ipiprint and ididikit siya dun sa manual books pa rin, ma'am. Para hindi na po
Mm.
kayo magsusulat. So, yun yung ibang
Okay.
options natin. Kung medyo, syempre, ma'am, yung at least sa Excel or QuickBooks kasi, ma'am, hindi na yun na problemang mag-totals and mag-summarize na gagawa pa sa ledger and all. So, pwede pong option natin yun sa ating bookkeeping, ma'am. Although yun, ma'am, a-applyan lang din ng permit dito, ma'am, before din natin sila gagamitin po.
Okay. Sige. Thank you. So I think before na pumunta tayo doon sa mga burning questions namin, actually this is a big controversy sa mga doctors. Okay. Let me put it into context kasi it all began when we shifted from an official receipt to sales invoice, di ba? Okay, so
Yes,
the
ma'am.
way I understand it, so our practice is basically a business transaction. And a business transaction is complete only when payment is made. Okay, kaya before, sales invoice, kapag i-deliver mo yung service, kapag nag-pay na, you give the official receipt. Pero ngayon kasi sa definition na nakalagay, parang ang proof of sales para mag-activate ang taxing is yung sales invoice. So basically, whether you get the payment or not, you are obligated to pay the tax. Yun ba yung parang basic principle involved?
Yes, ma'am. Kung aware tayo, last year lang ito, ma'am, nung nilabas po kasi yung ease of paying taxes, ma'am. Dun sa term po kasi ng ease of paying taxes natin, ma'am, dalawa kasi, ma'am, sa accounting side, dalawa po yung recognition natin ng income and expense. May tinatawag tayong cash basis, which is yung familiar tayo, na pag na-receive ko yung cash, dun ko i-recognize yung income, service income ko. And then pag nagbayad ako ng cash, dun ko din i-recognize yung expense ko. Yung accrual kasi, ma'am, kung na-render ko na yung service, kahit wala pa akong nare-receive na payment, ma'am, i-recognize ko na yung service income. Sa expense side naman po, ma'am, kung na-recognize ko na yung purchase ko, kahit na on account yung binili ko, ma'am, i-recognize ko na yung expense ko and then kahit na accounts payable ko pa lang siya, ma'am. So, yun po yung accrual. Ngayon po, ma'am, nung nilabas po kasi nila yung EOPT law and then nilabas yung implementing regulation niya which is yung mother regulation niya is yung Revenue Regulation number 4-2024. Clarify doon, ma'am, na yung pag-trigger ng taxes natin is yung when the income becomes payable. So parang when the service has been rendered na siya, ma'am. Kahit hindi ko pa po natatanggap yung cash payment nung na-service, yung service na na-render ko. So parang ang entrada kasi ma'am sa accounting side is magde-debit po tayo ng accounts receivable, credit service income. So for taxation purposes kasi ma'am, recognize na po yung income. Ngayon ma'am, ang bangga kasi niyan ma'am,
Okay.
kung percentage taxpayer tayo, babayaran na natin yung 3% nun kasi ni-recognize na natin yung income. Kasi dun nga po sa EOPT, accrual basis na po kasi yung basis natin sa taxation. Ngayon ma'am, kung VAT din tayo ma'am, kahit na hindi ka pa nakakolekta, basta na-render mo na yung service kasi i-recognize mo na siya na income, i-remit na rin po natin yung VAT nun. So, ang problema kasi dyan, ma'am, in relation dun sa questions natin like itong um, may pasyente
So,
tayong
let
hindi
me clarify lang
magbabayad.
no, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me clarify it. Before kasi, hindi mo yung mga hindi pa nagbayad, they do not declare it as income, kaya hindi ka nagbibigay ng official receipt, di ba? Pero, meron kang tinatawag na it will be pegged as receivable, something like sisingil mo later on. And only when nagbayad sila, saka mag-issue ng official receipt, yun na yung subject to tax. Di ba? It used to be like that. But now, when you render the service na, that's our product as physicians, parang magbibigay ka na ng sales invoice. So whether they pay or not, okay, upon issue of sales invoice, it doesn't matter. So you'll still have to pay the tax. So I think yun yung prelude doon sa promissory note na next question. Now what happens if the patient is unable to pay, di ba? And instead, we'll just issue a promissory note. But historically, to give you, like siguro sa mga BIR, I think based on experience, we actually don't know if the patient will pay us or not. Because, I mean, we don't just get one promissory note a year. Actually, probably daily na may promissory note kami. And it's very hard to keep track on them because these promissory notes are actually sa hospital transactions. No, sometimes they don't even inform us that we were not paid. Instead, we were given a promissory note. So, yun yung parang I suppose yun yung burning questions ng mga doctors. Help us understand why it's like this.
Kung sa VAT kasi ma'am, 'di ba, upon recognition ng income, babayaran na natin. May recoupment area po doon. Pero kasi, kailangan very clear kasi tayo dun sa promissory note. Kasi pwede nating i-reverse yung na-recognize natin na income, provided kasi ma'am, ma-prove natin na uncollectible na siya. So, ang very ano doon ma'am, dapat yung promissory note din ma'am, nakalagay kung until kailan. Para pag nag-reverse po kayo na nag-file ng VAT nyo ma'am. Kasi may item na po doon pag nag-file tayo ng VAT. Pa-check mo ako ng VAT. May ilalagay kayo doon ma'am na uncollected. So, whatever man yung VAT na kung na-remit nyo na siya or within the quarter is na-establish nyo na uncollected siya, madededuct po yung VAT ng uncollectible natin na yon. On your part nga lang, ma'am, medyo tedious siya kasi kailangan ma-establish natin na uncollectible siya, ma'am, before siya ma-reverse.
Item number 35. Item number 35.
Kasi may line item po tayo dun sa VAT return natin ng portion po ng uncollected. As to withholding kasi, ma'am, kung directly si patient ang magbabayad sana kay doctor, ma'am, walang withholding yon unless si client natin is tagged as withholding agent. So, usually yan, ma'am, kung yung client natin is, yung expense niya na yun is business related, usually mag-withhold yan. Pero usually pag pasyente naman, ma'am, personal nila yon. So, most likely hindi mag-withhold. Pero kung yung payment, ma'am, dadaan sa hospital, most likely, lalo na kung government hospital yan, although kahit private kasi, ma'am, professional fee kasi yun, ma'am, mandatory na mag-withhold po si hospital kasi ang lalabas niyan, ma'am, siya po yung magbabayad sa inyo. So, yung Asan na yun? Doon sa VAT, ma'am, meron po tayong portion lang doon, ma'am, na output VAT on uncollected receivables. So, i-reverse niya lang, ma'am, po. Nag-recognize ka po ng 12 na payable doon, ma'am. Pag na-establish na nating uncollectible, i-deduct natin yung 12 doon sa uncollectible na yon. Medyo matrabaho lang siya, ma'am, kasi i-record mo siya as income and then pag magmo-monitor talaga tayo, ma'am. Pag na-monitor siyang uncollectible, ibabawas din naman natin yung 12 nun, ma'am. Medyo matrabaho lang siya. Although sa withholding kasi, ma'am, lalo na pag government, kasi as early as 2001 pa, ma'am, na-clarify na dyan, ma'am, na pag yung expense is paid or payable, whichever comes first, ibig sabihin, ma'am, pag na-render na yung service, kahit hindi pa nagbayad si government, required na siyang mag-withhold and remit ng tax. As early as 2001, ma'am, before pa EOPT, ganun na po dapat yung withholding ng government. Although nung lumabas yung EOPT, clarify na po doon yung accrual basis, ma'am. So kahit si private hospitals yan, ma'am, basta naging payable na nila yung professional fee ninyo, pinasok na nila sa books nila yun, ma'am, as expense and then may akibat na payable na yun, ma'am, required na rin po kasi silang mag-withhold. Ngayon, ma'am, ang problema din kasi nila dyan, ma'am, as withholding agents kasi, ma'am, for existing regulations po natin, kung hindi po nag-withhold si withholding agent, may penalty po kasi si withholding agent. Kailangan nilang bayaran yung withholding tax nung hindi nila na-withholdan, plus may kasamang penalties pa po sila. So, yun po yung medyo problema natin dyan kasi when paid or payable siya, whichever comes first. Kasi may instances din naman siguro, ma'am, na nag-advance payment na ako for my expense, pero hindi pa nare-render yung service. On the part ng withholding agent, ma'am, i-remit na niya yun, ma'am. Kahit na advance payment siya, i-remit na niya yung withholding tax dun sa payment niya na yun, ma'am.
Okay. So, example, no, it seems to be the triggering point is the sales invoice. Sa clinic ko,
Yes, ma'am.
pumunta yung pasyente ko, nagsabi siya, Dok, pasensya na po, wala akong pera. Do I have the option? Am I prohibited from not giving the sales invoice? Total naman, wala akong makokollect. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am. Wait lang po. Nag-feedback po.
Nga hindi ko lang kung bakit nag-feedback eh. Yun yung nga. Sorry. I think, kindly mute na lang po yung iba. I-mute na lang natin muna. Please raise your hand kung may questions kayo. Yeah, Bjorn, I will ask your question later on. Pero let's for continuity of the discussion, no? So, since the triggering point is the issuance of the sales invoice, no? And I suppose the hospitals have their own mechanism to control this kasi magiging payable kasi nila at their parang expense kasi kapag babayaran nila ng doctor
Yes,
even if
ma'am.
the patient has not paid yet, right? Oo. Sa individual clinics namin or siguro palakihin natin sa group practice, sabi ni pasyente ko, Dok, sorry po, after the clinics, pero nakalimutan ko po yung wallet ko, wala akong pambayad, or just plain right, hindi siya magbabayad. Are we prohibited from not issuing sales invoice? Kasi I think ang pinaka-logical is don't issue sales invoice because for me, the transaction has not been finished yet. Do you have an answer
On
for
the
this?
viewpoint po kasi ng accrual basis, ma'am, na-render mo na yung service regardless of payment, ma'am. So, kung susundan natin siya, ma'am, accounting speaking and kahit legally kasi sabi accrual, ma'am, dapat sana mag-issue na kayo ng invoice.
But there's no way for you
Yun siya, ma'am.
to pero it's not strictly prohibited na walang nakalagay
Yes,
doon, di
ma'am.
ba?
And my question, ma'am, is how will you monitor, ma'am?
Yeah, parang yun nga yung sinasabi
Doon
mo
po
sa
tayo
mga
magkakaproblema lang later on.
yes.
Just in case masilip po ni BIR, ma'am, na may other recording kayo ng mga ganong situations kasi, ma'am, doon po tayo magkakaproblema. Kasi pag nasilip nila yun, ma'am, definitely, ma'am, sisingilin nila kayo kasi sa point of view din namin, ma'am, rendered mo na kasi yung service, so dapat bayad na rin sa yung tax nun, ma'am.
Oo, kasi yun nga yung sabi natin, parang, yun nga, going back to that case, na paano mo mamamonitor nga naman kapag hindi bumalik siya, nag-issue ka ng sales invoice na lost to follow up yung patient. Wala siyang promissory note kasi sa clinic yun. So is there a time that we can already declare on our own na this is
Wait lang, ma'am.
collectible?
Wait lang, ma'am. Medyo naglalag. Paulit po, ma'am. Is there a time?
Yes. A prescribed time that we ourselves in our individual clinics, okay, can declare that is already an income uncollectible.
Depende kasi sa policy niyo, ma'am.
Kasi,
Related dito sa question ko na, what if, dito sa chat, what if the patient or the patient's family
oo,
cannot say when they can pay? Yun, ma'am, wala kaming definite rule ng credit terms nyo, ma'am. Kaya yung in-specify ko kanina, kung mag-i-issue sila ng promissory note, palagyan nyo po ng date, ma'am. Para pag dumating yung date na yun, ma'am, at least may basis na po kayong mag-reverse, lalo na kung VAT kayo, na yung agreed payment niya is hindi siya nagbayad. So, ilalagay ko siya dun sa uncollectible. Ngayon, ma'am, kung bigla siyang magbayad, i-report lang po natin siya ulit
hindi
para
magbabayad yan.
maibalik. Yun, ma'am. So, yun po yung suggestion ko, ma'am. Ngayon, ma'am, kung hindi nila masabi kung kailan, internal control nyo na po kasi yun, ma'am, kung gaano katagal nyo siya bibigyan.
Exactly, yung mga
Yung
internal
credit terms kasi,
controls.
ma'am, is
Oo.
wala pong requirement under EOPT and under existing regulations and circulars ni BIR. Wala po siyang nilagay na minimum credit terms. Basta ang sinabi doon, ma'am, ma-establish nyo lang siya na uncollectible nyo na siya.
So, pwede namin siya na-establish as credit kapag filing of annual income tax, which is actually the end of fiscal year, right? Kasi ang hirap naman na gawin ito na monthly or quarterly.
Kaya lang, ma'am,
So,
kung
there's
VAT
no
kayo, ma'am,
definite
kasi,
prescription.
oo, ma'am. Masyado kasing matrabaho din kung iko-quarterly nyo, ma'am. Pero, hindi ko rin kasi masabi sa inyo, ma'am, kung ano yung acceptable credit terms din ninyo para lang masabing hindi ko na talaga to makokolekta, ma'am. Pero, ang number one lang na suggestion ko, ma'am, kung magpapa-promissory note tayo, ma'am, I suggest may date po until when para pag chinek din po yung uncollectibles nyo, duly supported nyo siya na ito po yung agreement namin, nag-exert kami ng effort na i-collect siya, wala po talaga kaming makolect na rin sa patient na yon. Alangan pigain namin, wala po talaga silang pambayad, ma'am. Ganun na lang. Ang iniiwasan lang natin dito, ma'am, just in case ma-check po tayo, wala kasi tayong documentation. So, yun po yung suggestion ko, ma'am, para kung sakali
Well, they're
lang,
not going to.
ma'am, na ganun, bakit ito ni-reverse mo? Bakit tinanggal mo yung VAT sa pasyente na to? At least, ma'am, pag hinanap po sa inyo, uncollectible na kasi namin yung na-render naming service sa patient Y, patient A, ganun. Based dun sa promissory note.
So, okay. Okay. Since verification lang naman, are there, besides the amount, the name, and the suggested date of payment, meron pa ba kayong i-require na BIR doon sa promissory note? Like contact number ng patients just in case you
Better,
want to
ma'am.
verify yourself during audit?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that not
Usually
covered
yan, ma'am.
by Data Privacy Act? Wala tayong
Ang
mababiolate
problema kasi
doon?
natin dyan, ma'am, promissory note alone, ma'am, hindi mo sasabing uncollected na siya, uncollectible na siya, unless nag-exert ka rin ng effort na maningil sa kanya, ma'am.
So, yun
Like,
nga. Ano nga yung
letter,
yun lang naman.
yes, ma'am. Just in case mag-check sila, ma'am, yun kasi yung proof natin na na-establish nating uncollectible yung service income
Hindi,
natin from that
there's no
particular
problem
patient.
with that. Yeah, there's no problem with that. But when we file for tax credit nga kasi or uncollectible income, na ipapakita lang namin sa BR, actually it's just a promissory note. I mean, we're not going to are we going to send you yung mga screenshot ng mga text
Sa
messages
initial
ng secretary
reporting, ma'am,
namin?
hindi naman, ma'am,
Uh-huh.
pag final nyo yung tax returns nyo, wala. Just in case lang ma-audit kayo, dun na nila hahalungkatin lahat yun, ma'am. Pero dun sa pag-file nyo
Ganon.
ng tax return, ma'am, wala pa po. Kasi hindi naman namin i-check yung records nyo unless we are authorized through a letter of authority na i-check na yung records natin and documents natin for taxation.
So, just a copy of the promissory note can be filed with the BIR for
Hindi nyo
uncollectible
i-file sa amin, ma'am.
income.
Kasi pag i-file mo yung tax return, ilalagay mo lang doon sa item 35 yung
So, magiging,
uncollected receivable.
So,
Hindi
magiging
mo i-attach,
automatic
ma'am,
na
yung promissory
mare-reverse
note.
yon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Kasi nasa return siya, ma'am, item 35, kung VAT taxpayer tayo, output VAT on uncollected receivables. Ilalagay nyo
Eh,
lang
paano
siya
yung
doon, ma'am.
non-VAT? Paano yung
Meron po
non-VAT?
sa PPT. Sige, ma'am, ipaprint ko
How
lang
about
po.
non-VAT?
Hindi kasi siya i-attach, ma'am. Tsaka nyo lang kakailanganing mag-submit nun, ma'am, pag nag-check na si BIR or under audit po kayo, ma'am. Yun po yun.
Yeah, paano yung mga non-VAT? They can
Wait lang po, ma'am.
also claim for reversal?
Wala may specific items uncollected, pero may other things already.
Ilalagay din siya dun sa other tax credits.
Sure.
Doon na lang po natin siya ilalagay, ma'am, kung
Ah,
uncollectible natin siya, ma'am.
okay.
Excuse me.
So, parang sa aming, parang ifa-file na lang namin
Excuse me.
yung promissory note just in case magkakaroon ng
Ikikip nyo siya,
audit,
ma'am.
okay?
Kasi
But
upon
we don't have
filing
to
naman,
attach it.
ma'am, hindi siya required na isasabit nyo sa amin. Pag later on
Okay.
siguro, ma'am,
So,
kung
just to
may
be
check
clear.
lang, doon po nila i-check na yun later on.
Okay.
Yun siya, ma'am.
So siguro, yes. So siguro sa mga, kasi karamihan naman ng promissory note namin actually sa hospital, hindi siya sa clinic, no? So
Ma'am, di
yun
ba
yung
ano,
nagkakaroon kami ng difficulty. Oo.
group of physicians kayo, ma'am? Ikaw po ba yung kausap namin sa email? Hindi ba?
Hindi po. Yun aming PCP, Philippine College of Physicians po.
Um,
It's
kung gusto
a
nyo, ma'am,
medical
ng
society.
kasi
Hindi naman,
lalo
ano
na
ba?
dun sa
Ba't ka pa
withholding
napapaalam
ng
sa akin?
taxes, yes.
Mhm.
Kung gusto nyo, ma'am, na
Sino, ma'am? Need mo ba yung room, ma'am? Okay lang.
Wait lang,
ma-clarify,
Bjorn, please mute your screen, Bjorn.
although siya na lang siguro i-contact namin, may isasuggest ako, ma'am, pwede naman tayong
Mas
mag-submit
kailan
ng
mo
legal
kinukuha yung
query.
milk mo?
Okay, sige,
Pag-uwi
sige.
na.
Okay.
Legal query, ma'am, para
Yes. You should.
I think naka-mute si BIR. Kindly unmute. Just for housekeeping, please, if you are not asking, please do not mute your screen po. Okay. Sige po. Go ahead, ma'am.
para ma-address na rin, ma'am, kasi dun sa
Mhm.
ibang groups din ng physicians actually, ma'am. Ito rin yung isang problema nila.
Yes.
Kasi meron talagang hindi na makokolekta. Hindi nyo naman pwedeng tanggihan yung pasyente, di ba, ma'am? Kasi mas malala yun. So, ma'am, ang ano ko, ma'am, kung gusto nyo rin, para mai-elevate natin siya formally, pwede rin po tayong mag-submit ng legal query
Oh.
or magpa-ruling tayo para ma-clarify, ma'am, kung ano ba dapat yung gagawin natin sa mga ganong situations. Kasi may chance na nung ginawa yung EOPT, ma'am, hindi na-cover lahat yung issues. Kasi syempre, ma'am, yung EOPT, general ang subject niya, lahat ng taxpayers, ma'am. We acknowledge naman na differently situated ang mga taxpayers natin. So at least, ma'am, siguro kung ma-erase natin siya, at least, ma'am, maidaan natin sa proper channels, um, ma-address natin yung issue nyo, lalo na po sa inyo, ma'am. Na, yun nga po, ma'am,
Okay.
per law kasi babayaran na namin. Per experience, may mga times na hindi na talaga namin nakokolek. So parang it's unfair din sa part nyo na hindi na nga namin nakolekta, babayaran pa namin yung tax niya. So at least, ma'am, maiano natin siya, ma'am. Iano na lang namin sa email, ma'am, kung ano yung gagawin natin doon, ma'am, doon sa kausap namin.
Okay. Okay, sige. I think
Sige, ma'am.
that's the proper kasi I guess it's already written into laws, hindi natin masyadong mabawi. These are nuances na hindi siguro na-consider,
Pero at least,
no?
ma'am, kung ma-erase kasi
Anyways,
natin siya,
I
ma'am.
think that's
And then may isa lang, ma'am, dito rin. Question number 3. So initially, ma'am, sabi niya naka 8% siya. And then within the year, na-reach niya kasi yung VAT threshold na 3 million. Ano daw yung gagawin natin? So may regulation din tayo dyan actually. Isi-send na lang din po namin para i-highlight namin yung specific scenario na yon. Pero pag ganun po yung nangyari kasi, you are required to update your registration. Kasi from non-VAT registration, magiging VAT registered na po tayo. So any taxes remitted within the previous quarters under the 8%, magiging tax payment mo siya under graduated income tax. So hindi ka na mako-compute at 8%, doon ka na sa 0 to 32% or 35%. So, i-compute na natin, net income na yung basis mo. Kasi di ba sa 8%, gross income in excess of 250 kung purely self-employed. Pero kung mix kasi, gross income from practice of profession ang basis natin ng 8%. Ngayon, kung nag-exceed na po tayo sa 3 million, hindi ka na po kasi qualified under 8% income tax option. So, automatic, magiging under graduated income tax rates na po tayo. So pag graduated kasi, ang basis natin ng income taxation is on your net income. Ibig sabihin, gross service income minus expenses related dun sa practice of profession natin. And other administrative expenses like pasahod sa employees natin, utilities, etc. So yung net income, whatever yung paid natin under 8% later on, ibabawas naman natin siya. Pero, pag graduated ka na po kasi, liable ka na pong magbayad nung business tax natin. So, kung dun sa first 3 million natin from previous quarters prior reaching the 3 million threshold, masasubject po yun ng percentage tax. So, i-remit natin yung 3% ng first 3 million natin without penalties naman siya upon update po ng registration natin. And then any excess po from 3 million and upon updating po ng registration natin to VAT, yun na po yung masasubject sa 12% output VAT less any input VAT po sa business-related expense or purchases po natin. So, ito ma'am, isend din po namin sa email kasi dun sa circular na yun ma'am, may scenario doon na parang example siya ma'am kung paano siya kukumputin and ano yung gifa-file po natin. Para medyo makita po natin. I-highlight na lang namin yung portion na yun, ma'am, para masundan po natin yung process. And then, another question related, ano na yun, I think yung number 5, related na siya kanina, ma'am, dun sa promissory note din kasi, and yung withholding.
Yes.
Even if we still have not received payment,
Mhm.
mag-i-issue pa rin ba per existing laws and regulations kasi ma'am, kailangan. Sa number 6, sabi niya, pag si doctor, vatable, pero later on, bumaba daw yung service income niya from practice of profession kasi less paying patients or marami siyang charity patients. So, pag titingnan mo, hindi na siya aabot ng 3 million. Yung update po kasi, ang VAT po kasi ma'am, dalawa yon. Pwedeng mandatory, which is pag na-reach mo yung 3 million, and then yung isa po is optional. Yun po yung, ikaw mismo yung nag-register. So, initially ma'am, upon registration, tinatanong po namin kayo kung magbabat po ba sila or non-VAT. Pag hindi po, tatanungin namin, na-foresee mo ba na makaka 3 million ka sa in a year dun sa pag-render mo ng service? Pag sinabi niyang yes kasi dun ma'am, automatic ilalagay namin VAT ka. Yun yung optional ma'am. Pag na-foresee mo or ikaw mismo ang nagsabi, hindi gusto kong mag-VAT kasi marami akong VAT expenses. Kunwari lang ma'am, lalo na sa ibang businesses. So, pag ganun kasi ma'am, kahit na nag-fall below ka dun sa threshold, or kunwari ma'am, this year, naging more than 3 million ka na, tas next year is less than 3 million, hindi po automatic na magre-revert na kasi as non-VAT registered. Kailangan i-update mo po yung registration mo sa amin.
Oh.
So, hindi siya automatic na dahil less than 3 million na ako, non-VAT na ako sa system ni BIR. Hindi ma'am. Kasi kahit less than 3 million ka ma'am, pwede ka pa rin namang mag-remit ng VAT sa amin. So kung mafo-foresee mo na sa succeeding periods is hindi mo na talaga marireach yung threshold na 3 million at feeling mo is hindi mas may tax savings ka kung hindi ka VAT registered, mag-update ka po sa amin ng registration as non-VAT taxpayer ma'am. Kasi yung VAT registration natin, hindi siya automatic na canceled, ma'am. So, pag nag-apply ka sa amin, ma'am, i-check din kasi nila, ma'am, kung proper yung VAT recording natin, nairimit yung output VAT lahat as deduct as reduced by any expense ng input VAT natin, ma'am. So, yun po, kung sakaling na-foresee nyo na talagang sa mga susunod na periods is hindi nyo na talaga marireach yung 3 million, mag-update po kayo sa amin, ma'am. Fill out lang po natin yung BIR Form 1905 and then update of registration from from VAT to non-VAT po. So, aantayin natin, ma'am, na ma-approve siya as non-VAT before tayo mag-revert na non-VAT. Kasi hindi po automatic yung VAT registration is hindi siya automatic po na
Okay.
nakakancel.
So,
Yun po, ma'am.
okay. Sige. Sige, I think yung last item, nasagot na lahat, no? Oo. We might be annoyed with the law, but it's the law. So I guess, buti na lang sinabi mo na as an organization, medical society, we
Pwede
could
po siguro, ma'am, para ma-recognize din po yung common issues
really
natin.
challenge, or
Yes,
ask
ma'am.
for a. I think that's the best option that we can have. But as of now, it is what the law says. Okay?
Yes,
Yun lang
ma'am.
talaga. I think we would also like to thank you for your suggestions on what we can put on the promissory note. I think sa mga private hospitals, they do have some parang strategies, like they can convert into payable. So at least hindi magkaka-issue sa mga doctors to, no? And then, sa government lang talaga, it's probably more problematic sa Baguio Gen. Kaya nga nagkaroon ng kawawa yung mga taga-finance namin yung nagkaroon ng meeting. Okay? Because I mean, it's so very heated siya. So anyways, I think that clarifies a lot. Okay? And of course, I think puts all the doctors in attendance. So wag nilang awayin yung kwan natin, yung nasa finance natin kasi ini-implement lang nila yung law. Okay.
Lalo naman pag
Anyways, are there any
government
questions?
hospital.
Yes po. Okay.
Si COA din po kasi yung maghahabol din sa withholding nila kasi required po sila. Kasi si
Yes.
government accounting po, ma'am, is accrual talaga kasi siya, ma'am. So, pag
Yes,
na-recognize na rin po
accrual
kasi yung
siya.
payable, ma'am, magwi-withhold na rin po talaga sila, ma'am. Yun, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So, okay. Are there other questions? Kasi we're now, I think we've exceeded 1.5 hours. So, I mean, that's good enough, I think. And at least yung mga burning issue, yung lang, yung promissory note na clarify. And the shift na I think mas clear yung shift ng yung ease of paying taxes, yung the relevance kung bakit sales invoice na siya. Okay, remember, sales invoice issuance is a triggering for paying taxes. Okay? Sige. So, meron bang issue? Okay. So, anyway, sabi naman na BIR dito, if they have further questions po, they can email us and we thank you for that. Okay, at least, I mean, saan ka pa, diba? Before, ang mga tayo, takot na takot tayo kay BIR, pero I think it's better to just ask BIR rather than get into trouble. Okay? So, I think kung wala nang questions, okay, ma'am, from our friends in BIR, meron po tayong mga parang closing na remark or advice so that, I mean, yung mga ng findings nyo na sa amin kasi mga doktor, kung minsan talagang hindi namin pinag-aralan yan. Sometimes it's only
Yes,
when we
ma'am.
are going into private practice na pupunta kami doon. I think, I'm sure some of you, hindi ko lang, kumalala niyo pa ako, pupunta talaga dyan, magko-confirm,
Yes, ma'am. And we
parang
appreciate, ma'am,
seminar.
kasi
Yes.
we want to thank you, ma'am, kasi nag-reach out po talaga tayo on how to be compliant din po sa amin. So, ang lagi naman po naming sinasabi, sa una po talaga medyo nakakalito siya, ma'am. Pero yung filing naman natin ng taxes is usually paulit-ulit lang yung form. So, kung medyo nakuha naman na natin, ma'am, I think madali naman na siya. And yun nga po yung sinasabi ko, ma'am, better po na makulit na matanong, ma'am, kesa magsisi later on na hindi ko siya alam. Kasi tayo po ang magsasuffer nun, ma'am, lalo na pag may hindi ko tayo na-file, tayo pa rin po kasi yung magsasuffer nung corresponding penalties na mga hindi natin ma-comply na requirements po under BIR or kahit saang agency man na kailangan may file tayo. So, sa amin naman, ma'am, as long as matutulungan naman namin sila, mag-reach out lang po sila sa amin, ma'am. Yun po.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Sige, thank you. Okay, so I think wala nang ibang tanong. It is already, we already spent 1.5 hours. I'd like to ask, dito ba si Dr. Tea Kahulaw? Or yung president natin? Si bang president natin ngayon? Okay? To give us a closing remark. Wala si Thea. Anyways, I'll just deliver it. Okay? Thank you to our friends from BIR. Okay? So, certainly, um, it's we as doctors, I believe, actually, we'd like to pay our taxes duly, regardless of what's happening in society, because it's everyone's responsibility. Sometimes the law might annoy us, or might be an inconvenience for us, or might be unfair for us, but it is what it is, and I am. And there could all be solutions later on. And of course, I'm so glad that BIR is very engaging and even suggested that as a society we can challenge actually that policy, and perhaps it will bring the attention. It will bring the attention on us doctors on our specific circumstances. Okay, so if there are no other questions, we would like to thank our friends from BIR for accommodating us, and of course the member of PCP for coming and show interest. And of course, I think this is a show of support for our BIR. And of course, it goes on to show that we do want to become responsible citizens of the Republic by paying our own by taxes. Okay? Sige. Thank you. And see you everyone again. Okay? So let's hold on to our seat for further for further revisions or updates regarding taxes. Okay?
Thank you po.